Are your walls naked? Stay tuned. Welcome to Decorating Tips and Tricks. I'm Anita Joyce with Kelly Wilkness, and this is episode 315, The Best Sources for Wall Art. The show notes for today's episode can be found at decoratingtipsandtricks.com/315. This has been a big request, hasn't it?
Oh, over and over and over again, we get asked this question. It is tough. I think art and lamps are two of my most difficult decor items to find and to be happy with. And I think I'm definitely not alone in the wall art category, at least because we get so many emails about this. There's just a lot of CRAP out there.
Right. And I just finished up some notes for a client I was working with, and that was the thing that I spent the most time on were the lamp and the artwork suggestions. So it is hard to find, and there's really a lot of bad stuff out there, and there's just a lot of stuff out there that's looks like stuff everyone else has in their house. And that's what we want you to avoid. I don't want you to just go buy it because that's just what's out there or that's what you've seen somewhere.
Right.
We are really encouraging you to find artwork that speaks to your heart. There are just millions and millions of pieces of artwork out there, and there's no reason to buy something that isn't just super special to you. And so that's what we're really here to help you find today.
Yeah. So we're curated, I think it's a pretty robust list. I know I have a bunch, and I think, and Nina mentioned to me, she has a bunch as well. And we'll share some very specific pieces that we found in specific places on the internet that you can go, and give you some general ideas of other sources for art. But here's what I think about the difference between art and lamps. I think with lamps, unless you're going vintage like I do and sort of upscaling it yourself, you tend to have to spend more for a really cool lamp.
Well, they've gotten very expensive over the years.
But I think with artwork, people assume you have to spend more because it's art. But you know what? There's a ton of great art out there that is really inexpensive, especially for what you're getting. And if you're getting, it may not be an original one of a kind, but it could be a limited edition, or at least, the artist had some interaction with the piece, whether they're printing it out or something like that. So it is something that's special, and you're just not going to find it on the shelf in some big box store. And you can feel that you have some connection to it when you look at it, either because of what it depicts or just the emotions that it stirs within you when you look at it.
That's right. So, So let's think about finding something for you that speaks to you, that's meaningful, and let's just avoid the stuff that, if you've seen it everywhere on Pinterest, that's great. It's cool. It's hot right now, but a year from now, you're not going to want it in your house if you just bought it because you liked it on Pinterest. So let's get going. Are you ready?
I'm so ready. Yes.
Can I start?
Yes, you may.
Okay. So, we both love Miss Mustard Seed. Marian Parsons has a fabulous blog, Miss Mustard Seed, but she's also an extremely talented artist. And I noticed that she had done a blog post recently about her artwork being for sale, but I didn't really have time to click over. By the time I clicked over before this episode, I thought, oh my goodness. All of these original art pieces of hers, such talent. They're so beautiful. And she had them priced so reasonably. And as you might expect, it's a couple days later, I think, since she announced it, they're almost all sold. That's the bad news. But we'll link to it. It's actually on a website called Daily Paintworks, and I'll include a link, but you can see the gorgeous things that she has. Daily Paintworks actually has features about 1,600 artists, so she's not the only one there. I also noticed that she had copies of her work, or reproductions, or reprints, I guess I should say, of her work at Society 6. So you can get those still there, because they're copies. So that's definitely still available. And we'll have the links to these. But these are really some beautiful. She has portraits, landscapes and some still lifes that were really pretty.
Yeah, it's beautiful work. I mean, I knew how talented she is from, she's been, furniture painting and whatnot for years, and definitely has a very artistic flair and decorates her home beautifully. And I remember seeing some things that she was posting about how she was getting into really painting, on canvas. But I'm totally blown away by how she's taken off. She's so talented.
Well, I think she was in a bunch of painting challenges, and I don't really understand how that works, but I think one of her challenges was to paint 100 landscapes. And I'm thinking, ay, ay, ay.
Right.
I would feel so accomplished painting one. I mean, I would be patting myself on the back so big time for doing one. And here she's, just whipped out 100 apparently. So yeah, but I will say, if you want to improve as an artist, that is the way you do it. You have to do a lot. You have to be willing to be bad and do a lot of work. I don't think she had a bad face. If she did, I sure as heck didn't see it.
Yeah.
But that's how you get better, is doing exactly what she did.
Well, so true with decorating as well. All the things that you want to do that have some sort of artistic flair, the more you do them, the better you get at it. So yeah, that's exciting. Okay, I'm going to definitely check out some more of what Marion's been up to. I have one from Etsy. I found a shop on Etsy called Art Tide Art. And these are beautiful abstract paintings. Now, they were original works at some point, and then they have artists copying them as well. So they're very reasonably priced. You can get very large ones, which could be very impressive in over a sofa or even an entryway, something like that. So I'll add the link to them. They're very sort of ethereal in a sense, at least the few that I was particularly drawn to. But the whole thing is sort of, they're abstract, but soft abstracts that, you guys like, oh, that's a forest in the distance. And it looks very sort of like Heathcliff on the moors, like,
right.
Very misty. And then the other one that I was particularly drawn to, it definitely looks like the sea, but it's darker colors, very moody, really pretty. And I messaged on Etsy back and forth a little bit with the shop owner. Her name is June. She's quite lovely. She's got a ton of great reviews. People seem to be very pleased with the finished product. And again, very reasonably priced. They don't come framed, but that definitely saves you the cost of the frame, and you can then choose your own, or perhaps you have one, and also reduces the shipping cost as well. So we'll, each one of these that we discuss will link in the show notes so you can go have a look.
Yeah, and I found greatbigcanvas.com has a lot of art, and you can choose the size, and they carry a lot of artwork from famous artists that you would have heard of. But, what a great way to have a beautiful piece of incredible artwork as a copy, and you can get it whatever size you want, and on canvas or printed on paper. And, I love the gallery wrapped canvases. Mm-hmm. So this is a great source, and they have some beautiful portraits. And I found this beautiful portrait of a young girl on there I thought was lovely. So we'll include that. So there's really so many sources. Yeah. So what's your next one?
The next one are some original paintings. They're from another Etsy shop, and this is Art Nostalgia. And these are originals, as I said, and they are by a few Ukrainian artists, and they're deemed vintage because they're from the 90s-ish, circa. And one of them, I shouldn't even be telling you guys because I absolutely love it. It's called The Blooming Garden, and it's 13 and a half by almost 20 inches. So it's a pretty nice size. I believe it's on canvas and an oil painting, and that's $99. And then there's another one by another Ukrainian artist, and this one is only $45. It's absolutely beautiful. It's signed, and it is called Sea Waves. So it's kind of like sea foam crashing on the shore, some pinks and blues. You definitely get the feel of the motion of the sea. And these are coming from, I believe, someplace also in the Ukraine, but the shipping is only $15.
Wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So those are really beautiful. And they have a a whole bunch of them from various Ukrainian artists from around that time. And I didn't see too many of them that were over $100.
Very nice. The next piece I found is on minted.com, which also deals a lot with individual artists. And the one I found that I thought was so beautiful is called Broken Clouds. And it's by Stephanie Goose John ... So I don't even know if they show the person's whole name or if that is the artist's full name. But it's just a beautiful landscape, very bucolic setting with some clouds and some gentle rolling hills and trees. And, I'll link to this specific one. But yeah, I mean, there's a size, it looks like a 14 by 11 for $44. So yeah, I mean, that's very reasonable. Or no, it's $89. I think it's a little extra if you have it framed.
Yeah, because you can get them framed there as well, which is so great. Okay, I'm totally cracking up as you're saying this.
Oh, did you pick the same one?
Yes.
Okay.
Broken Clouds got me, but then when you said Stephanie Goose, she's from Washington, Connecticut. I picked the exact same one, and I'm actually thinking about getting this one.
It's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous, right? And I mean, it's for the 14 by 11, it's $44 plus if you get it in the classic frame plus $45. I mean, that's a great deal. And Vinted always has discounts as well. There's probably some promo going on at some point for free shipping or something like that. And the thing about, I'm just like, it cracks me up. We were talking about shoes before we started, you guys, today. And we know we wear the exact same size shoe. So next time we go places, we just can bring, each bring one pair of shoes and we can share. And that cracks me up. Of all the paintings on Minted, we picked the same one.
That is so bizarre.
So bizarre. And I guess you can get it unframed too. So then it would be under $50. But it is absolutely beautiful. And what I love about, I worked with Minted years ago on my blog. And that's when I first learned about these design challenges that they have. So a lot of you can sort of even search by the design challenge winners. And a lot of them, like Stephanie Goose Johnson, have done fabulous work. And the original may or may not still be available, but then you can get these limited editions. So what I noted about this one is the edition count is only 350 per size. So, if you get there's only going to be 350 of the 11 by 14 or whatever size in the world. And, they're very careful about the type of printing and the paper that it goes on. Absolutely gorgeous. So when you're shopping on Minted, you can look for those particular things. And then you can also get some details about the artist. Like there's a great picture of her where she lives, her farm in Washington, Connecticut. And you learn that she has 3 boys. And, you just sort of like make a connection with the artist. You can even request commissioned art. And then you can go invest in, then visit her actual store. So it's a really lovely way to feel like not only are you feeling a connection to the art, but that you have a sense of the artist as well.
Right. And I love buying art and when you know who the artist is, but there's something else, but it's okay too to get art if you don't really know exactly who the artist is. I have been majorly crushing lately on travel posters. And I'll include the link. I'm looking on my phone and I can't really see who this seller is, but I'll link to it. But it's a beautiful travel poster of Loch Lomond.
Oh. And
which is a place I've been. In fact, I taught some classes in Scotland right on Loch Lomond.
You did? Okay,
I did.
When was that?
Oh, when I worked for a computer company.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I would, talk toward the students and get them working. And then I would turn around behind me and look out the window at the loch. And I thought, oh my goodness, this is stunning. And I also had some other travel posters from France, Mont Saint Michel, and some other ones. I'll include links to all of these. I found them on eBay. And they're reproductions of travel posters. But the thing was, they were like $10 a piece or something. Maybe the most I paid was $20. And I'm talking about for a piece of artwork that was, I don't know, like 25 inches tall. It might have even been bigger. Actually, I want to say it was bigger than that. And Kevin took these to work. A lot of color. these, vintage travel posters, and I bought the frames from our friends at Art to Frames.
Oh, yes. Art to Frames.
Just some simple black frames. I didn't matte them or anything because it's a poster, so it kind of has the natural white matte. I said, oh, you need these for your office. I framed them for him. I gave them to him. They were hung up. And he said everybody that walked in there the day, even the guy hanging them, loved them.
Oh, I bet.
So they appealed to a wide range of people. So so that's something that you can do. And not just travel posters. Let me mention that you can also get old posters that are advertising different products that are kind of fun, like some of these old French ones from like 1880 or something. There's some great posters from like, different liqueurs and things that they're really fun.
Yeah. Yeah, those are great. And if you got the original of those, I mean, they go for thousands and thousands of dollars.
Exactly.
But if that doesn't matter to you, and if that's not within your budget, you can definitely have the same look for a lot less. In fact, another thing that goes for a lot of money is those sort of original, usually German wall hangings that may have been in a school or a laboratory. You know what I'm talking about?
I had bought some of those, and they sold like hotcakes when I had my booth at Round Top.
Oh,
the long,
right.
They were like printed on linen, and it was from they're German, the ones I had, and it was this beautiful scene of a town, and they were like almost 4 feet wide.
Yeah, they're pretty spectacular because you imagine, especially if they're being used in a lab or a classroom setting, they're usually big and long.
Yes, sometimes
so
they have
see from the back of the room.
Right, sometimes they have animals on there or other things.
Right.
The vintage ones are really very popular and hard to come by.
Right. So if you guys have been listening, you may have heard me talk about my dandelion print. This is very similar to that sort of thing. It's the parts of a dandelion. So it was probably used in some sort of science class or something, or botany class or something like that. So I have never seen that on the internet. And lo and behold, when I was doing my research for today's episode, I stumbled upon it. So I can share with you. Mine is different in that my background is black. The one that I found, the background is white. And it's available through a shop called The Black Vinyl, again, also on Etsy. And it is, in fact, a copy of an 1887 German book on medicinal plants.
I have to say, those botanicals with the black backgrounds are simply stunning.
I really do like the black. I was really hoping that they would have had it in the black, but I don't see it. But maybe if you popped over there, you could ask a question, because there's something about that sort of burnt yellow color of the dandelion against the black that's pretty spectacular. In fact, I found a home for that. It's going to go in my laundry room above the sink, and I'm loving it there. So I have it just sort of propped up there. But and guess what, you guys? It's $18 now. That's pretty great. And if it's the same, if it came from sort of the same place as mine, the paper is very nice and heavy. I did pay a bit less for it. Not too much less. I think I paid, because I bought a couple of things, I think I ended up paying like maybe $12 each for the ones that I purchased. And they're coming from Long Beach, California. So to the United States, it's under $6 shipping. So for $24, you could have this spectacular piece of art.
So something else I found, because I love historical things. I love history. I think you do too. And so this was an interesting find, and this is on Etsy. Again, I'll include a link. I think it's being sold by First Class Design Company, and it is a set of French documents from the courthouse, 19th century paperwork. And I thought that would just be fun. I'm sure I would not understand a word on there, but it's just kind of fun seeing all that beautiful script handwriting. And you just kind of an interesting, unique look. Not everyone's going to have, especially if you're looking for a monochromatic, neutral look in a room. I think this would be a fantastic thing to use, and a real, kind of conversation starter. But if you're wanting color, this isn't going to work.
Oh, but that's so cool. And being a former attorney, although I'm not French, I mean, that would be kind of interesting to me to even take a look. So is it individual pieces of the paper framed, or is it like a collage?
No, 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 they're individual. I think there's 8 pieces here, and let's see. Yeah. And it's, obviously it's a reprint and you can get
Right.
the size that you want. And I think the price is for all 8 of them. Hopefully they're framed, but yeah.
Wow. Very good.
Yeah. And then when you have a whole set like that and you put them together, the strength of the look is in all of them together because one, 8 by 10 document or 11 by 14 isn't going to look so striking on a wall. But when you have, you know, 8 of these framed on a wall, then it's kind of the look of the whole thing is really beautiful.
Oh, great. Yeah. Framed in simple black frames. I mean, kind of
Yes,
akin to
black
the way you
frames.
might do a set of botanicals or something like that. Don't you just love a great recommendation from a friend? Well, we're delighted to be recommending these companies and their wonderful products to you today. And let them know your friends at DTT sent you. Pesto pork chops over Parmesan polenta. Not that easy to say, but oh so easy to make with Green Chef. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit company for eating well, and we have such a great deal for you. You're going to save $250. Listen on for the details on that. Green Chef makes eating well easy for any lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat more balanced meals. We're getting into the busy holiday season, so it's a perfect time to have Green Chef help you out. Let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season with their chef-crafted, nutritionist-approved recipes featuring fresh ingredients and nothing artificial. And you know what? You don't have to lose track of your healthy eating habits during the holidays. Every Green Chef customer gets a free session with their registered dietitians who will walk you through how to make clean eating work for you. So sign up for your free session and start on the road towards better health today. And that deal I want to tell you about, visit greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order. So that's greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order. Green Chef is a delicious delight any time of year, but especially during the holidays. What a wonderful vision to behold as the Green Chef boxes on your doorstep. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit for eating well. And it makes eating well so easy with plans to fit every lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat a more balanced diet. So let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season. And if you've got guests coming, shop Green Bundles. They're now available at the Green Market. It's your one-stop shop for nutritious grab-and-go breakfasts, including vegan options, brunch kits, wholesome lunches, ready-to-eat snacks, veggie sides, and more. You can feel your best this December and do your best with Green Chef because they offset 100% of the delivery emissions as well as 100% of the plastic in every box. Go to greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT and get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months. greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT to get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months.
I found some beautiful artwork from Belle Maison Art, and this is on Etsy as well. But there's some beautiful, I love architectural prints, but they're usually lacking in color. They're black and white. These are beautiful colored prints but it's an architectural print. One is, kind of a huge chateau or something with mountains in the background. Ooh. And it's a set of 2. And then the other one, you would love this because it's a layout of a very formal garden.
Oh.
So, but it's an aerial view of this garden, for planning purposes.
Right.
So this was probably presented to somebody, some duke and duchess or whatever, and they said, yes, do it, spend, whatever, however much. But it's huge. It's ginormous. I mean, the plans. But they're beautiful because of all the color. And I just love these. They're probably, I think these are actually based on original prints from, probably the 19th century or 18th. I don't know. They look pretty old.
I'm
And
so excited to check out your finds.
yeah. So a couple of these, again, I'm just going to check the price here. 216 by 20, $75.
Wow, that's a good price.
Probably doesn't include the frames, but still, I think it's a great buy.
Oh yeah, I think that's awesome. And what a wonderful thing, especially if you're into, the particular thing like the gardening. I mean, if that's your gig, wow, that'd be awesome. Okay, gardens to flowers. There's a lot of botanicals and whatnot that you can find out there. They're not all created equal. So be careful when you're looking. I found something that was really beautiful. Again, it's an Etsy shop. This girl is from Boston, Massachusetts, and she's got a mix of things, but she has these flowers that were original watercolors, but then, she's making copies of them, but she's copying them on old dictionary pages.
Oh,
right. So the one that really struck me was the poppies. She'll have that on the page with the P words.
Oh, how fun.
And then the sunflower.
The P words. We got to watch that.
Oh, yeah. I think it was more like parsnip.
Oh, good.
And partake. Things, words like that.
This is G-rated.
G-rated art. G-rated podcast. P for podcast. I don't think
there
podcast.
You go.
I don't think podcast is in that old dictionary. So, and then, sunflower on that, so you're following me on that. So pretty. And the watercolors that she did are very vibrant. The poppies are really red and the sunflowers are really yellow, but they have a very, botanical look to them, if you will. They're not cutesy at all. They're very beautiful and really well done. So I thought those were great. The 11 by 14 and one of those is $24.99. Deal.
Oh, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah. They're really, really pretty.
Yeah. And, interestingly enough, as we were going through this, as I was kind of looking at all the artwork to see which ones I wanted to mention during the episode today, I got so much joy from looking at these pictures to looking at this artwork. And I thought, this just makes me so happy. Imagine what happiness some of these some of this art could bring to you just on your wall. Being able to look at it every day.
Exactly. It does so much. I mean, I've spoken about the artwork that I have in my house from this artist, Max Moran, before. Now that, that was something we bought as an investment piece, and it's absolutely beautiful. And it has given me so much joy, like 100-fold what we may have paid for it. And it wasn't that much money, but it wasn't $24.99. But he is an incredibly beautiful artist, and he depicts clouds like nobody's business. And when I look at those clouds, it reminds me of, a time when we used to live where he was painting, and it was, it's transformative when I take a look at it, and it's in my bedroom, and it's a perfect place because when I wake up in the morning, I can look at those clouds. I love it.
And another place I want to mention, it's not a place online, but go to the antique auctions, go to your antique stores, your vintage stores. They're harder to find at thrift stores, but I know here in Houston, really walking distance from my house, I love to go to a store called Heights Antiques on Yale, and they have so much antique and vintage art that's original and so fun to be, and they've already curated it for you. So you might check out some places nearby. It's always fun to get out of your house too and see the pieces in person. And maybe even if you don't find exactly what you like, it might be helpful to kind of get a feel for, I'm leaning toward the botanicals, or I'm leaning toward the landscapes, or I'm leaning towards something a little more, contemporary. It just kind of help you maybe hone what you like if you don't find exactly what you're looking for. But it's so fun to see the pieces in person too.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And I definitely tend towards the landscapes, and the smaller landscapes at as Anita said, estate sales, thrift stores, maybe not so much, but Round Top, Rose Bowl, if you've got some sort of organized antique shows near you, you can usually find them, and they're usually not very expensive, especially the smaller ones. And even if the frame is not in great shape, you could always just take it out. It looks cool not in a frame, just sort of leaning somewhere on a shelf or tucked behind something. If they're small enough, you can work them into vignettes. In our a prior house in the living room, I had a wall that was all like a gallery wall, but it was all different small landscapes. And I tried to have them, either California or New York, because that's where, we have spent most of our time. But, it was kind of loosely based on that. And I just loved collecting them. And I don't think I spent more than $20 on any of them. And together, they made such a statement in that room.
Yeah, and if you know some artists locally, it's fun to support them too. I have a personal friend, Lindsay Sappington, and I bought a lot of original artwork from her, and I loved going to talk to her, to meet with her, and buy the artwork directly from her. So that's always fun too. But it's not always easy to come by. But there's got to be some art galleries near you. Those are going to probably be, the more high-end expensive things. But I'll bet there's somebody in your neighborhood, in your neck of the woods, that's not so super high priced.
Right. And I like to, I kind of term this art that you might find at these estate sales and whatnot, sort of like Sunday art, or not as nice a term like marginal art. Like it's just somebody who maybe took a painting class or just felt like it was a lovely thing to do on a Sunday, to go out with their palette and their brush and paint something. And they had it in their house, and then maybe went to a relative and ends up in somebody's attic, and then it shows up at this estate sale. And, it's maybe $10 or $12 or something like that. So don't turn your nose up at that sort of Sunday art, because those can be really beautiful. It might not be, the most perfect technique, but it's just so charming.
Well, interestingly that you say that, because I remember when I was very small, my mom loved the paint by numbers paintings. Remember those?
Oh, yeah.
So she did those all the time, and they were all over the house. And, I was a kid. I didn't know, I didn't really think one way or another about them. And I don't see that anymore, new paint by numbers, but I think those old paint by numbers are being sold everywhere now, really seen as kitschy and fun.
Oh, yeah, yeah. They're at the Rose Bowl all the time. In fact, I remember there was one that my dad had done in my grandma's house of this horse. And I have asked, numerous times, does anybody know where that horse is? Because I would love to have it, especially since my dad made it. But I remember it being in her office, in her house, but I don't know what happened to it thereafter. Probably somebody had ended up in some yard sale somewhere, and somebody else has it.
Yeah, well, I hope someone's enjoying it and it's not in the bottom of a trash heap somewhere. I hope somebody saw its value and enjoyed it.
Exactly. Another thing that people like to put on their walls is photography. So there's a ton of great photography out there. There's probably even more photography than there is art that's painted out there and available to you. I tripped upon a shop that sells sets of like city art photographs from cities. So the one that I particularly loved was this set that you could get from Paris. So it's the Arc de Triomphe, the Eiffel Tower, and then you can choose. There's like maybe 9 choices, and you choose 3, and you put a little collection together. And the 8x10s are $57 for all 3. The absolutely beautiful black and white photography. Stunning, absolutely stunning on your walls.
I feel like we're going down the same path here, because another thing that I've seen that I was very attracted to are some of the photography pieces that are of the doors of old cities like Paris. It doesn't have to be Paris. It could be London or some other European city, but the doors were all so much more unique, in these older places, different shapes, different colors. And I love the color photographs of just a collection of doors. Wouldn't that be beautiful?
Yeah, that is so pretty. And there's something about doors. My mom traveled to Ireland many years ago, and she took this absolutely beautiful picture of this blue door to someone's cottage, and it had sort of roses spilling over, the pinks and reds and stuff. And it's just so inviting. It was partially opened, and it's kind of burned in my mind's eye, as well as I have the photograph. It's so pretty. And then, I guess maybe she was just inspired by the look, but I don't know if it was around the same time. But then you started seeing door calendars and door this and do that. But there's something about the door, like what are people drawn to? I think it is that it's like, you can open that up to somebody else's life. There's right behind that door, somebody else's life's going on, and all the wonderful things and maybe all the secrets and all the interesting things. And, for us, like, what does their house look like inside? I think there's something so intriguing about doors. Mm-hmm. And then when you couple them with absolutely beautiful doors, it's a lovely thing to have.
Oh, yeah. And then, of course, again, we're so imaginative. I'm always thinking, what's behind that door? What does it look like? And so there's the interest, just has your curiosity up beyond just appreciating the beauty of the door.
Yeah, I think that's really pretty. I am really excited to look at all the stuff that you came up with.
Oh, I know. This was, I had to stop myself.
Oh, I know. It was a giant rabbit hole of art I was falling down.
I know, because I'm glad I only had a couple, like an hour really to work on this, because I could have spent all week on it. Yeah. And got nothing else done.
Yeah.
And I already have a list of, I need that. And I don't need anything. I don't have room for anything on my wall. But yet I have earmarked several things thinking, where could I fit that in? Because it's just speaking to me so much.
Right. Well, and also at these price points that we're sharing today, you can move things around. Maybe something takes on a different life when you put it in a different room. One of my clients, she does have a really lovely art collection that she and her husband had curated over years and years and years. And every time I go to our house for whatever, we're going to get some more pillows or reupholster something else or what have you. And I was like, oh, wow, Trish, you moved. That's different. That looks so different here than it did in your bedroom. Mm-hmm. And so it's a good idea, whether it's very expensive art or not, no matter what it is, to give it a new resting spot, and then you can appreciate it. The natural light's going to hit it differently, and you're going to have opportunities at different times of the day to appreciate it. Like the painting that I was talking about that's in my bedroom now was always in our living room in our other house. And, I thought, oh, well, this is, beautiful art, and it should be above the fireplace in the living room, and sort of very traditional. That's where you would put something like that. And whereas I enjoyed it there, but I didn't spend a whole lot of time in my living room. So I'd see it, walking past or coming through or, now when it's in my bedroom, I appreciate it even more. And I get to see it, in the real morning light, which honestly, the way these clouds are painted they look so different. Mm-hmm. The piece of art looks different depending on the time of day.
And here's an idea. If there's an area where you're thinking you're going to want to be changing out the artwork a lot, or if you find yourself already changing the artwork out a lot, it might be a nice idea to put a little shelf in there to set the artwork on. I have a shelf in my upstairs hallway, and the beauty of it is I put artwork, I put mirrors, and the beauty of it is they just sit there, and because each piece of artwork's a little different height, so if I were changing it out all the time, well, I am, but if I were hanging it on the wall, I would have all these holes up and down.
Oh, good
because
point.
of the different sizes, but because of the shelf, I just set it there and lean it against the wall. In our house, it's going to be left alone. But of course, if you're doing a leaner like that, be careful and make sure that you have it secured if you have, anybody in your house that might be knocking it over. Yeah.
That's a really good tip. Yeah, I like leaning art. It just has this more casual feel to it. Like maybe you are the artist, and you just finished that painting and you just leaned it over there.
And it's not quite dry.
Exactly.
Maybe it's still drying.
Oh, wow. Lots of good tips today. So this one was, as we mentioned when we began, a question that has come up over and over again. So we're going to count this whole episode again as a listener question because there are so many of you. Okay. So thanks to everybody who asked this question. And we hope that we gave you some great ideas. After you've had an opportunity to sort of click around and see all these ideas that we've given you, if you have follow-ups or if anybody has any other sources, please let us know.
Oh, share your sources with us.
Share your sources. We share with you. We want you to share with us. And definitely go to the show notes and enter the D-Lawless $250 giveaway because you would be remiss if you didn't get in on that. We want everybody to have an opportunity to win. BritBox just keeps getting better. The new Archie is amazing. And it's not the comics. It's about Cary Grant. Archie is the brand new limited series starring Jason Isaacs as Archie Leach, the man who became Cary Grant. From the award-winning screenwriter of Philomena, Archie tells Grant's born in Britain, made in Hollywood story, the dramatic grit to glamour transformation that led him to become one of the most famous people in the world. You are going to absolutely love the acting, but also the styling, the outfits, the scenery. It's the first time his story has been told in collaboration with his daughter Jennifer Grant and ex-wife Diane Cannon. The performances from Jason Isaacs and the rest of the cast are amazing, and it's only available on BritBox. So sign up for BritBox today to stream Archie and other fan favorites from any device. And we have a special limited time offer for our U.S. and Canadian listeners. Get 50% off, yes, that's 50% off your first month when you sign up for a monthly plan. But only if you go to BritBox.com and use our promotion code DTT at checkout. You're going to love Archie. So head over right now and get 50% off your first month of BritBox. Use the promotion code DTT at BritBox.com. Inevitably, with the new year come wellness goals. One very effective and easy to reach goal is to add Dose to your wellness regime. Dose is expertly formulated organic wellness shots that support your liver in one delicious drink. Formulated with ingredients clinically shown to support liver health. Potent turmeric, milk thistle, and ginger. There's 0 sugar and 0 calories. Did you know that your liver performs over 500 special functions? Since I learned all that my liver is doing, I started with Dose to support all those vital functions. I take a shot of refreshing Dose 2 times per week to combat everyday toxins from food, meds, alcohol, and unhealthy air. Since starting with Dose about a month ago, I am definitely feeling an overall improvement in my health. So if you want to give Dose a shot and invest in your health like I have, Dose is offering DTT listeners 15% off your first order, plus an additional 15% off if you subscribe for a monthly delivery. That's 30% off your first order. So go to dosedaily.co/DTT and use the code DTT. That's dosedaily.co.co/DTT and use the code DTT.
Yeah. Do you have your crush for today? I have one.
Yeah, I do. I don't know if this can be a crush, but I'm going to make it one. I have a crush on my termite guy. Okay.
Your what guy?
My termite guy.
Oh, termite. I thought you said turmeric.
I don't have a turmeric guy. My termite guy. Okay. It's not a crush like, oh, my termite guy is cute or, Peter has nothing to worry about.
I kind of was guessing that already.
So it's a crush / tip, which, I guess all the crushes are tips too, because we're telling you about good stuff. But okay. I had another termite guy who seemed like a nice guy. How many
termite guys do you have over there?
All right. Well, let me back up. Our house has 95% of my house is made with what's called old wood, which is a good thing because termites don't like old wood. So it could be redwood or something. There's something about the old wood that termites don't find that appealing. But new wood, which is part of what the kitchen is made of, the termites really like that. So I have discovered, and I don't need to get into the details of that, there are some termites. And
bummer.
I was recommended, somebody said, oh, you should get this guy comes over, he does a full analysis. Now I know that 95% of my house is never going to have termites. Okay. Never did, never will. All right. So I had this young guy come and he was very nice and he spent a whole lot of time here. And then he sent me this big giant email with all these recommendations and he wanted $3,200 to rid me of this little colony of termites. Okay. And I was like, whoa, I really don't want to spend that on termites. No. So I remembered the gentleman who came here when we first were moving into the house and he had to do the inspection. He just seemed like this cool guy. It looks like maybe he could have been part of the Grateful Dead. He's like an older guy. So nice. He comes today. So he is now my crush today. And this is the tip. And this is why he's my crush. He's like, yeah, you see, this is where they're coming in. He shows me this tiny little hole. This is how you can tell they're here. Now, he says, Kelly, I could come back and charge you $500 and I could squirt my, the stuff that I have into this hole. But do you have any WD-40? He's like, see, these holes that termites make is the exact diameter of the WD-40 straw. You know what WD-40 is? The stuff that you squirt on a squeaky.
Do I know what it is? Yes.
Yes.
Who doesn't?
Okay. He's like, so, and I was like, yeah, I have that right on the sink. He's like, just squirt it in there and Kate will look at it. And if in 10 days, they come back, then you can call me and we can see, maybe I'll come by with my stuff. There you go. Now that is crush worthy and an excellent tip. So
you need to give him a fruit basket. He
needs a fruit basket.
Good bit of money.
Exactly.
He is a fruit basket?
No, I said he needs a fruit basket.
Oh.
Do you need to clean your ears out? So anyway, that's my crush. It's, it's just a tip really. And he's such a nice man. But if you live in my area, it's Royal Termite. His name is Rick. Super nice guy. And he was also completely, complimentary of what we had done to the house because he saw it when it was a complete disaster. So it was kind of fun to have him back anyway.
Oh, well, that's good. Well, I don't know that mine's quite as exciting as yours because that's very exciting. Mine is shoes. Again.
Well, that is more exciting than termites for sure.
So yeah. So the if you haven't heard of them, we both love the Jack Rogers shoes, and that's the Jackie O shoe, right?
Yeah, she wore those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they have some beautiful ones. They even have some called jellies that are, I guess they're kind of plastic, but they're nice for the. I've
never seen that. Okay,
but those are for the pool or wearing in your house or something. So I don't know. Anyway, those are pretty nice. Anyway, they're having a sale. By the time this goes live, it may not be going on still, but if you miss the sale, sign up for their emails and you can wait for the next sale that's coming around because they do have them and they have some beautiful. The Jacks are my favorite shoes, so there's some beautiful ones there, and I have several in my cart. I'm going to have to.
Oh, you're going to have to winnow it down.
I'm going to have to just get one. I know.
But yeah, they're beautiful and classic.
Sophie's choice there.
There you go. Mm. So good. So good crushes, I guess. What a range.
Yeah.
So much fun to hang out with you guys today. I hope you got some great ideas on wall art and let us know if you did and let us know if you have any ideas to share and we will pass them along. Enter the D-Lawless giveaway for $250 to their wonderful family-owned hardware business. And remember, we are here to inspire you to create a beautiful home. Until next time. I want to remind you that we are available for design consults. We take on your design dilemmas, questions, renovations, any project you want to talk about, any room, any space. We are here for you. And we really do enjoy doing these. And I think we've helped people a lot. So if you want to sign up for a consult, head to the link in the show notes. It's decoratingtipsandtricks.com/consult. We hope to talk to you soon.